Hello everybody, it's Carrie and welcome back to another video. Okay, so my camera has been having some whack issues. Shorty, I might have dropped her on the floor, but she seems to be focusing now, so maybe the solution really was just turning her off and on again. I want to get a new camera at some point, but my girl, she's pretty good and I can't justify spending as much money as I should spend on a camera, so we're gonna rock with this. I'm sorry if the focus gets a little whack. I'm trying my best. But hello everybody, welcome back to another video. If you do not know me, my name is Carrie. I run Traveling Pony Studios, which is a small crochet business. I also run Knotty Pony, which is my own yarn line. It's a size 6 Chanel yarn, and I gotta say it's a pretty good. You know, it doesn't shed, it doesn't break. It's kind of like everything you would want in a Chanel yarn. And also super soft for everybody out there who has wrist and hand pain, because oh my goodness, I have been working on trying to get through my huge yarn stash that I have accumulated, and man, oh man, some of these yarns, Chanel yarns, I guess I didn't realize how stiff and starchy so many of these yarns were until I used Knotty Pony. That stuff is like smooth as butter. And then I also run a equestrian facility, mainly focusing on horse boarding. I don't teach anymore. I was a professional in the equine industry for about 5 years in the professional status. And then I rode, showed, and trained horses for, oh gosh, a very long time. I have been involved with horses since I was 2 years old. And that's kind of what keeps me busy, takes up my day, and never gives me a dull moment. So this week's video, we're going to be doing a cute little week kind of type vlog, I guess you could say. It is 10:11, quite late at night for me, but I wanted to at least get the first beginning clip filmed because I feel like that is typically the hardest thing for me to do. So we're going to keep it pretty short, sweet, and simple. It was actually my intention to come inside and paint eyes. So if you didn't watch my last video where I did another like really just short vlog, I kind of slacked off on recording, which is pretty normal. But I am doing a very large custom order for loops and knots of safety eyes. I haven't really made progress since that last video. I actually came inside and was like, I'm gonna sit down and do some painting because I need to paint the eyes for my giveaway that I just hosted on Instagram. And as well, I just need to sit down and paint a lot of 30mm eyes because I feel like a lot of the patterns I'm gonna be doing coming up use 30mm. That is by far the eye size that I use the most, is 30mm. Like, I can have 30mm eyes just sitting in my box, and I never have to worry like about finding a project to use them on. There will literally always be a project for me to use them on, opposed to like 20s. 20s I only use on like 2 or 3 patterns that I do, and then 25s kind of hit or miss. I honestly prefer the larger kawaii eye look. And I always use the pupils that are not like in the middle. Those ones give me a little creepy cheepies. If you guys are also interested in my safety eyes, I do technically have my safety eyes listed on my website, travelingponystudio. I have a very select amount on there for safety eyes wise. So I always tell people, if you ever see safety eyes and you're like, oh my goodness, I want to get a pair like that, feel free to message me. My priority right now isn't necessarily updating my website. I'm trying to be like picky with my priorities. And I guess I'll say, for everybody who has supported Knotty Pony, thank you guys so much. I know I've mentioned before about doing the second chance sale. And man, originally I had such high ambitions. I was like, I'm gonna do it so close after the shop opened. But I have a feeling what I think I'm gonna do is, I have 2 big markets in September, almost back to back. My first one's September 13th, and then 2 weeks afterwards, I'm doing a 2-day event. As long as it doesn't rain, this event is supposed to be like crazy. Last year it actually got canceled for Hurricane Helene. So I have a feeling that if it happens this year, it's going to be crazy. So I have those two things in September alongside still working on customs. We'll hopefully finish up my one custom order that I for sure have and doing some pattern testing and whatnot. So I kind of was going back and forth with Naughty Pony. I think what I'm going to do is October, I do not have any markets. I haven't even attempted to sign up for a market and I don't really intend to sign up for any markets because every market I'd looked at doing that was a single day event that was decently close to me all ended up being like really close to my September markets, and then I was like, I don't really know if I want to do like a 2-day, and I try and keep my markets close to my house because as you guys know, I do run my barn, so when I do markets, I have to factor in being able to do my horses before leaving for a market. So typically market days, I'm up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning to put my horses outside, to get everything set up for the people who come in and clean my stalls and help me in the afternoon. But still, that's always the thing. I try and keep my distances close because, of course, the further away the market is, the earlier I have to wake up to get everything done with the barn. So that is definitely a factor because, you know, it's a little bit different when you're waking up at like, you know, maybe you normally wake up at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock and then you have to wake up at 6. But, you know, when you have to wake up at like 3:30 or 4 and then you aren't usually asleep until 10 or 11, yeah, that will put you under real fast. And I don't get any days off. I don't get any breaks from my barn. I have been doing this nonstop 365 days a year for years. So that's definitely a factor I do think about is like, I don't want to be driving super far distances and going through that stress of trying to do everything in my barn. But with that being said, I have a feeling that the second chance sale will probably be sometime in October because I figure that way if a lot of things move in this sale and if yarn sells and if there's like a surplus of orders, I'll have plenty of time and I won't be super stressed because my November market is until like the end of November. I want to say like the 23rd. It's like right before Thanksgiving. So I'll have all of October to like start prepping, do the yarn, not be too stressed right now because the like initial buzz over Naughty Pony has died down. The orders, some days I don't get any, other days I get like 1 or 2, so it's very manageable right now. But I don't want to put myself in a position where like if I have to pack a lot of orders then I get stressed. And for once in my life I'm trying to be maybe a little bit considerate of myself for like a minute, but it probably won't last super long. So that's kind of where everything's with Naughty Pony. Like I said, this week we have hopefully this custom I want to get done. This is the second part of that one custom. Supposedly Premier is supposed to be delivering the yarn Thursday or Friday. It's supposed to arrive. It's so crazy that I literally ordered one skein of yarn, which was one of their tie-dye. If it had been a color that I could have bought off Amazon, I 100% would have. One skein of yarn took like a week and a half to be fulfilled, which is like crazy to me. Like I said, if I could have gotten it anywhere else, I would have gotten it anywhere else. And this is not a yarn I don't want to carry. I don't like Chanel Brights. I don't like blanket yarn. So I was really trying not to buy a lot of it. And now I'm going to be stuck with a good portion of this skein because I literally only have to make a foot and then the hair details. And I'm going to have all the rest. And I just do not like Chanel Brights. And I don't like any blanket yarn. I come upstairs wanting to make eyes, but then I got stuck on making this wolf. I was just a few rounds from being finished with him, and then I got through the head, and then I was like, okay, let me make the ears, let me make the nose. Before I knew it, it was like 9:30, 9:40, and I was like, I'm not gonna get started painting because that always takes a little bit of time, and then I have a bad problem about stopping, and I say this, and we are definitely approaching way past my bedtime. But I did decide to go ahead and get started on these little BTs for the next thing I'm gonna try. I got quite a few of the Snuggle Beans crochet. I actually tested her fox and a wolf for the splooting series. So I bought all the other ones, and probably this week I'm going to try and do a couple of them, but the real big thing I have this week is the 2 tester calls. This is by Joyfully, and I've been doing her evolution tester calls for her. So the original one was, I've done Umbreon, Espeon, Vaporeon, Sylveon, Eevee, and then I just finished up Leafeon. This guy was not completed but in the last video. Oops, his little tail, he's been in my box. But he is now finished, my little Leafeon. I absolutely love these patterns. I like how they turn out with the Leaf Softy, plus they do turn out pretty small. I am definitely going to be charging the same amount of money as I would with a Chanel yarn because these things are so heavy. I would say pretty much most of them, and I've done them all so far, have been like 15 pieces that need to be sewn on. Like the thighs are sewn on, the feet are sewn on, head to body, tail to body, and then all of these, any little bumps or anything you see are all sewn on as well. So these are very heavy sewing projects. I do enjoy making them, but it's definitely something that takes a little bit of time out. So I have Jolteon and Flareon to do. Luckily Flareon is not as complex with different pieces as Leafeon was. So I'm hoping Flareon will take a little bit less time, but I do not have eyes painted for Flareon. I have eyes for Jolteon. So at some point I'm gonna have to make those as well. But this week we got a lot of things to do, and I hope you guys will stick around for them. Well, good morning everybody. I'm headed over to the barn. I've got about 3 orders to pack for Naughty Pony, and I'm gonna record them for TikTok and YouTube Shorts because that gives me at least 3 mornings worth of content that I don't have to worry about. And it's like 9:40, I think. So I figure I'll go ahead and do it before I bring my horses in because it always takes longer when I record because recording takes longer. And then I typically pack everything myself because it's hard to record with 2 people. So we are gonna clock in because I'm also gonna ride today. It's kind of supposed to rain, so I'm gonna have to, I'm trying to take my shoes off. I don't like to wear my shoes in the office, but I'm also going to ride today, and then I'll have to like drag my ring and everything since it is supposed to rain a ton. The stock is looking slightly unorganized right now. I need to reorganize. I think I need to open boxes for like a couple of these colors, and those are all things that I need to tape or glue the wrapper on. I just haven't had time. I haven't been prioritizing certain things like that as much as I need to, but I'm really hoping once I get through this next like crazy month of markets, I'll have October to kind of like chill. Right now I'm just kind of like freaking out over everything that's going on. So I'm gonna get these 3 orders recorded, packed, so they can go out today since they were pretty much almost all made today. So I'll get them out for them so they can get them extra quick. Sloan is not very thrilled. I don't know if you can tell that it is raining. Well, now it's starting to pick up. So we're just doing a super quick walking ride for like 10 minutes just to get them outside because it is supposed to pour later today. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we are definitely gonna get thunderstorms today. It is so humid, but the sky definitely looks very thunderstormy. I feel like if you live somewhere where it's in the south, humid, hot, joy, aw, like a bumble. You can kind of see her right on the edge. She just loves her sleep. But, oh yeah, look at this side. It's just very dark. But I feel like if you live in the south,
then you know that if it's humid and then the sun comes out, boy, you're gonna be in trouble. So I always just like to close this door of my barn owl. This is my front door. And then we're gonna close my side door because for whatever reason, if it pours down rain, the rain will come in. Like that door and then that back door, I never have any issues with rain coming in, but my front, oh, there's some. And then here's Cornbread. Cornbread is our oldest guy. He's 32. And then this is our newest guy. Rascal? Come here. You want a treat? He's like, wait, I was sleeping. Come on. Don't get freaked out, guys, okay? So Rascal has one eye. He's not my first one-eyed horse. I've had quite a few one-eyed horses come into the barn. And, ooh, our one eye, we have a couple of tears coming out of it. But he's not my first one-eyed horse that's come here to be boarded. I've had quite a few. It's actually more common than you would think in horses, just because horses can be really prone to eye issues. He has eye issues, and then the one next to me also has eye issues. Okay, fine, I have a treat. They just, look, they know. But it's more common than people think that horses will have their eyes taken out. Good boy, I'll see you later. And there are two ways that people will take out their horse's eyes. I mean, you know, of course, surgery, you gotta take out their eye. But people will either do their eye like that, or it's just kind of like sunken into the skull. Most of them do it like that. And then I've had one horse that actually had like a prosthetic, I guess, like a ball put in that socket, and then it was trying to decide how much room I want and give enough space for my cat. And then it was sewn over the prosthetic. And the only thing about that, I don't like that style. I actually prefer them sunken in like his, because it was so weird having a prosthetic bulge in their eye, and then like the eyelid gets sewn, so it's like a line over the prosthetic where the eyelid gets sewn shut and it doesn't heal as good, and then it twitches and moves. I prefer their eyelids like that by far. Here are Bee and Bunny. Bumble's up top. I don't see Honey. Now I'm really hoping these guys will be smart, because for whatever reason, whenever it storms, my cats aren't smart enough to go from here to there and to the big beautiful barn. They'll just hang out under here or my dumpster. So Bee, Bunny, you guys gonna be smart today? I got low hopes.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I decided let's do this check-in at 6:12 instead of like 10:30. Because typically that's when I do my check-ins, I feel like. And it's just, you know, the vibes are going. I'm so low energy. I'm kind of always low energy. But especially at night, I'm just like not really here. And I feel like sometimes I'm sleepwalking, even though my eyes are open. Yep. So I had 3 orders this morning for Knotty Pony. Thank you guys so much. One of them was actually a repeat order, and I've said this so many times. Whenever I get repeat orders, it just warms my heart, because it just makes me feel like you guys really like the yarn and everything. So I got those packed up, filmed the content for them, so if I have the videos all uploaded before the time this video comes out, I'll include the clips of me packing and everything. I didn't record it like long form, YouTube form, because I just haven't been getting a ton of orders in like I was before, so I wanted to make certain that I got those recorded for short form, so I have 3 days covered because I did not post a short form video this morning. That will change because I am getting my extra tripod, and once that comes inside and I have my tripod in here again, I'll record more in the morning for short form. It's just so hard because since I use my iPhone for all my short form stuff, I really need that tripod because I can't back it up on anything. But so far today, got all of the mini tigers done. The mini tigers are from Haru Crochet. So my list is starting to look like a little bit more manageable. Here's the front side, here's the back side. And this is just base stuff. Like there's so many more things that as I've worked, I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot to write this down, forgot to write that down. And also just new patterns. Like there's certain things on here, like some patterns, like I have 3 of them that I actually crossed out because I had purchased a pattern thinking I would like love it, and they were expensive patterns. But I ended up making them and hating them, so I just decided I'm not gonna make them. And then there's a few other things, like I am not 100% certain if I'm gonna do some patterns that don't necessarily sell super well for me. Some of the Madeline Mayco patterns just don't sell super well. So I'm going back and forth if I'm gonna end up making them, or I might not because I'll have other options for those patterns that I think are probably a little bit cuter. It's always hard because every single market you go to, people like different things, but I feel like I'm starting to get a understanding of maybe what people like. I don't know, I say that and then I'll make something that I absolutely hate and then people will love, like or I make some patterns that I love personally but then people don't really like. It is just so hard, and I don't think you can ever really know. I typically just base my list on items that have performed at previous markets. It's always hard when you bring new items in. That's always just like a see what happens type thing. But some of these I have brought to previous markets and they just really didn't move. And I don't know if I necessarily want to spend an hour or 2 or more making that item when it never really moved in the first place. I have sometimes a problem where like I just feel like I have to have so many of one item when maybe I really shouldn't or don't need it. An example of this would be like my owl, eagle, and cardinal. The one I used is from the Madeline Mayco one, but there are sorry guys, just have thunderstorms. There are so many versions of that, just those like little short squatty birds. I don't even know if I've sold a single one at a market. The ones that I gave up were the ones that had gone to a store, so I'm kind of sitting there like, you know, should I really spend that time remaking them? So I'll probably cross those off my list. And then some of the other ones I'm really going back and forth. Like for a while I did the Diddy Dex dragon. I feel like everybody knows the dragon. I was doing it before it got like super popular, and then I feel like it just like has grown in popularity. But there are so many dragon patterns out there, and I'm honestly considering just like not doing the Diddy Dex anymore and instead doing another dragon, because for as small as the Diddy Dex pattern is, it does require a lot of sewing, and I find it to be quite aggravating just because some of the rounds are so small. And I'm totally fine working like 4 single crochets, all that type stuff, but generally I feel like I don't know if I want that to be like the entire pattern, like the tails. And like I said, I feel like Diddy Dex has gotten super popular, so I probably won't continue to make him. I know some people like him. I've sold my Diddy Dexes over time. I still think I have like 3 or 4, but there's just so many options with dragons that I feel like I would rather do, and probably would have just as much sewing but be bigger projects, so I could potentially price them a little bit more, because I can't remember what I priced my Diddy Dex at. I think it's like $35 because they are so small. But I mean, what? There's like, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's like 12 pieces to sew on. But you can't really charge that much because they're like this big. So I'm gonna go through this at some point and just like cross more things off, and then also add some more things. I want to try and get these cats done because I have 6 to 8 cats, and this is the Lily and Fern pattern I have shown you guys before. I'll show you an example. Oh, my kitty cats have a lot of yarn fuzz. I need to go through my box, but it's this pattern. This will be a new pattern for me to take to the market and everything. So I need to just go through and count how many cats I have, because I remember almost being done with how many I had said, but I can't remember how many exactly more I need and what colors I want to do next. Like, this was supposed to be a calico, I believe, but my brown is probably not orange enough, so I need to do things like that. But the agenda today, I finished the 3 tigers that I needed to finish to get my 6 done, and that's a hard crochet pattern. And then I am beginning to start my pattern test for Joyfully again. This is her Jolteon. I have Jolteon and Flareon, and they're both due on the same day, on the 18th, and I really sat down and was like, I don't want to do this pattern test right now, like this specific day, but then I was like, oh, they're both due on the exact same day. Like, I really should start to make the pieces, because like I said, pretty much so far, I don't know these last couple ones, all of the patterns have had like over 15 pieces to sew. So it does take me a long time to sew. I'm not the fastest sewer. I don't really know how you can be really fast sewing. Crocheting, I know everyone crochets at different speed. I'm not the fastest crocheter in the world. There's a lot of people who crochet way faster than me, but I'm also the type that I try and keep my stitches really consistent and everything, so I like to take a little bit of time. But I feel like sewing, you really can't go that fast unless you're just winging it. I really try, especially in these like detailed ones, to take my time to line pieces up. So as much as I didn't want to do this pattern test today, I was like, you know what, I gotta get started, because Flareon is gonna take just as much time. I think technically Flareon will have less pieces. I believe Jolteon will have a lot of pieces with the spikes and then the tail and then the ruffles around the neck. So far I've got its head done, and then I got one of the feet done. I'm starting the second foot. I am using these exact same eyes that I used on my previous Jolteon, just to keep it consistent. And then I am using, I believe this is Honey Bunny. I'm not 100% certain what color it is, but I think this is Honey Bunny. I am trying to work through my never-ending stash of yarn, and I'm very sad to admit that some of the quality of this yarn is like, ugh. I know that sometimes even, like, I don't really mind when it comes to yarn the look of it. Like, if it's not that perfect tubular shape, if it's got some, like, fraying, all that type stuff, the quality's not super consistent, that doesn't bother me a ton. What bothers me a ton is the texture and the ease of crocheting. I feel like that's really a big factor for me personally as somebody crocheting the plushie, because my hands hurt all the time, right? And I think it's just from like the workload of the horses. You know, a lot of days I'm slinging hay outside, or I'm doing like moving hay bales, and I think this morning I moved like 20 hay bales, and then moving feed, that's like 50-pound bags, and then just doing the horses, cleaning, and then crocheting on top of it. My hands stay hurting. So for me, it's very important that I don't work with like stiff, bad yarn. And yesterday afternoon I was starting that fox, or wolf I should say, like I was telling you guys, and I opened a new skein of Premiere, and I have like 6 or 9 of the white and it's just like all bad. And I have so much black that is bad. And then I was looking at some of the bags earlier because I have a whole stack of them in there. And I was like, man, I can tell that some of these are going to be horrible to work with. Like I said, I don't mind textural differences. I mind how sleek the yarn is to crochet with, how starchy it is, how rough it is. Like all of those things to me are a lot more of a big deal, and I need to use my yarn stash, but sometimes it's hard to convince myself to use yarn when it makes me physically in pain. It makes me cry. Like sometimes it is so excruciating painful to crochet with some of these yarns that it really does bring me to tears because I can't stop and I won't stop. So then it feels like my muscles are being pulled apart sometimes when I crochet. So I decided today I was going to tackle the hobby, whatever, honey bunny, because this yarn felt decently soft. Now I will be honest, I'm really not looking forward to sewing with this yarn. I was trying to stay a little bit more on the Elise Softy Plus because the Elise Softy Plus of course does not shed, and with as so heavy as these projects were, I really didn't want to use a Chanel yarn after using Sweet Snuggles Light. The Sylveon I had 0 problems with sewing because Knotty Pony doesn't shed and you can sew with it, but I didn't have enough skeins of like bad yellow, stained yellow for me to use on the Jolteon, so I did go with this, but I'm really not looking forward to sewing because I feel like I'm going to be covered in yellow. My plan is probably I'm going to work on this guy more. I'd be happy to get the body done, but I feel like that's super unrealistic. So maybe get some more parts done. Like I said, usually I just try and get all of the parts and then sew everything because there's so many of them. And then I do need to paint some eyes tonight, whether it's for Sarah's order or if it's for myself or it's for the giveaway thing. I just need to get back into sewing eyes late at night and then trying to get to bed a little bit earlier. I think I only got like 4.5 hours of sleep, so I look pretty good, right guys? But I can always tell when I don't sleep the same because my migraines get really bad. I feel like I'm always the type of person to have a headache, but when I hit under a certain amount of sleep, my migraines get really bad and they just keep coming and keep coming. So on the agenda, I'm going to keep working on Jolteon. I probably will not update you guys again until maybe tomorrow, the day after. I'm uncertain what day, but we're going to continue to make progress on this. I'm going to try not fall asleep because I still got 4 or 5 hours to go. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, good morning, everybody. Totally morning. It's like 12. I am, of course, in the barn. I just finished bringing in my horses and I was gonna ride, but like I said, I think we got like 2 inches of rain last night. It was not fun. I had to literally like shovel water out of my barn because it was raining so hard. So I am in the barn getting ready to pack some orders. I got 3 orders basically like tonight and then 1 more so in this morning, so thank you guys so much. So I'm going to get these orders packed. It's basically orders, I think 118, oh no, 120 through 122, and I need to look and see because some of my colors are getting low in terms of like what bags are up here, not what I have because I have so much, so I'm not that worried about that, but I might have to restock some colors. So I'm gonna quickly take a look because I believe, okay, I think I have enough, but I'll definitely have to restock next time. I might restock. Yeah, maybe next time. And I just realized that on my website, the 12-pack ones, so one of each color, was all out. So I went ahead and added a few more on there because I have the yarn to do it. It's just I didn't like go crazy putting them. Then I've been like, you know, I haven't gotten any orders with 12 packs, but a lot of singles. So that's been adjusted by the time you guys see this video. But we're just gonna go ahead and start getting packed. I am going to record all of these videos because it's just, I never know when I'm gonna get an order or if there's gonna be days where I don't have any orders. So I do like to record the packing video so I have it available to post. Basically, I think I had those 3 orders yesterday, so I got those videos recorded. One of them I got edited, posted this morning, and then that will hold me over until like, I think it's Wednesday, so Friday, and then I'll get these recorded, and then that will hold me over till, you know, like Monday or whatever for morning videos. And then I have my tripod coming hopefully today, so I'll be able to go back to also recording in my house. And my hope is that with recording in the house, I hope to get back up to 2 to 3 short form videos a day. I kind of started slacking a little bit once Naughty Pony came, and I wasn't really crocheting that much. I didn't really have anything like fun to talk about in the short form videos. But now that I'm back to crocheting a little bit more and market prepping and doing pattern tests, I need to get back on my short form content because that definitely helps with my subscriber stuff. And you know, just like anything with social media marketing, the more people you have following you, the more outreach you have. It's kind of one of those things. I don't mind social media. I know some people, when it comes to businesses, like love the creation side of it and hate the social media side of it. I don't really mind. I am like totally comfortable being in front of a camera. I've been like recording myself since I was like literally like 6. I mean, I tried out for America's Got Talent, and I have like the videos from that, me singing Selena Gomez love song, or I think that was it. Yeah, because it was between Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez, and I chose Selena Gomez. And then I used to, like, back in the day, especially when MacBooks were first coming out, we didn't have these fancy like computer doors like everyone does. I remember always going on like iMovie and stuff and like recording videos of me outside my gym, and I would just sing videos, like I would sing stuff or I would record videos of me. And so I've always been very comfortable in front of a camera, probably too comfortable, but you know, it was kind of like I would go and fight and then go outside and pop a few songs. So I'm gonna get this order pulled first. This is just a nice easy order. This is 120, so we've just got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I think I can get this all in a small mailer. I actually think it will like fit perfectly. So I'll pull this with you guys while we're here. So they're gonna get 1 apricot, and that is this color right here. So I hope you guys are having a great rest of the week so far. And you guys know me, I'm always busy. I'm always running around doing something. So we have 1 apricot. I'm interested to see if more people would like apricot with spooky season. If you guys have been following me for a while, you would know that I'm not a big seasonal crochet person. Like, I don't really crochet for holidays because I absolutely hate getting stuck with holiday items. It drives me bonkers. I usually never do holiday stuff, and
I did last Christmas because I was in that store, and I have so much Christmas stuff that I just like, I don't have a reason to do with, and it's just taking up space, and it's really not working for me. So I'm always hesitant when it comes to doing holiday stuff. But I haven't seen people, we got 2 blue raspberries. I haven't seen people posting their spooky season items. Okay, we got 3 caramels. Whoa. Sometimes the strands are a bit all over the place. 3 chocolates. Oopsie, dropped my Sharpie. And then here are 3 chocolate. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this packaged up, and then I'm gonna knock out these next couple orders, and then I probably will see you guys inside when we're crocheting something.
Hello everybody, it is Carrie. Who else would it be? Maybe my voice in my head, I don't know. But it is the 14th now, so it is Thursday. It is 8:48 at night. Kind of checking in early for me. And basically, yesterday I continued to work on pattern testing. I got some eyes painted. I got all the eyes painted for my giveaway that I hosted. So I'm going to be sending those out probably tomorrow. And then I got a huge order of KNOTTY Pony that I packed up today. I recorded the video for it and everything. And yeah, that just took a while. It's amazing how much longer recording things takes. But I do like to do it and everything, so I have the content, but it does take a while, especially an order that big. It just ended up being, I was like, you know what, I really want to try this style of video, and everyone kind of seems to enjoy it, like having me in the video as well. I'll include the video now. Hey everybody, my name is Carrie. I am the owner of KNOTTY Pony, and let's pack order 123. Also, why does Shopify start the orders at 1,000? We'll never know. As you can tell, we gotta restock some things. Honestly, guys, I find it so hard to believe that I've even reached 123 orders, and none of this would be possible without your support. Doing KNOTTY Pony was a huge risk, as one might can guess. What am I if I am not a risk taker, let's be honest. And I'm so thankful for everybody's support, whether it's just liking things, commenting. I literally read them all. I'm just not always the best at replying right away. It's hard to believe that when I started this all 2 years ago, I started crocheting. I honestly never expected any of this to be like this. I never expected to have a community who is so nice to me and is so willing to support me in all of my crazy ventures, because I have many adventures. I think what I love the most about this whole thing has been being able to see all of the cute and adorable plushies that you guys have made with KNOTTY Pony. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, whether you only purchase the yarn once, whether your order is something super small or something crazy big, or if you literally just watch my videos, comment on my stuff, just know that your support means everything to me and gives me a reason really to get up every day.
I rarely get to pack boxes, so this is a bit of a surreal feeling. Oh wait, double check the colors because I don't want to forget anything. Thank you, Betsy, and your order is gonna be on its way today. Can we talk about fast shipping, or can we talk about fast shipping?
So let me know, do you guys prefer seeing like the packing videos with like me mixed in or just the packing? Yeah, I don't know. It took a long time to edit, but I also had so much footage. I need to go through my phone at some point and delete things. I just have so much footage, and I swear every video looks exactly the same, so I get so confused. But I got all the eyes painted for the giveaway. I ended up doing this color right here. I actually made myself a pair because I needed it. So this just really beautiful kind of blue green. It's one of my favorite ones. So I got those eyes all painted. I was going back and forth about just making like really different ones for everybody, but then I don't know, I didn't want to go too crazy, and I feel like that blue that I use right there, I feel like everyone who's seen it loves it, so I don't want to do something that people aren't gonna love. But like I said, I'll probably get those orders packed up tomorrow, Saturday, probably tomorrow, let's hope. And then I did get the yarn in from Premier to finish that horse levy. I got the tie-dye in, so I think I'll probably do that tomorrow, maybe. And then I finished a pattern test. I got this Jolteon done. This is another pattern test for Joyfully. So as you can tell, I used Hobby Honey Bunny, and I did have these eyes already painted. This is the same color that I did for my Jolteon pattern test that I did for Pebbles. Guys, it's been a long time since I have sewn with pure Chanel yarn, and I say this every time I work with just pure Chanel now. Knotty Pony doesn't shed, so I feel like I've been getting spoiled when I use that. And then when I also use Lee's Softy Plus, first of all, completely different texture and yarn style. That doesn't really shed. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I was making this pattern and if I was like one of you guys, I definitely would recommend to try and use yarns that do not shed a ton, or just know that it might save you some years of your life to just use acrylic to sew. You just have to use a lot of acrylic, because I'm trying to think, I can tell you guys, this particular one has, well, this is all crocheted together in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I tacked down the legs, so 6, 7, then 8 is the body, 9 is the head. We have 5 collars, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I can't remember. I think I said the head. So 22 pieces right here on this little guy. My only concern whenever I do heavy sewing pieces like this is always that I make certain everything lines up. And I feel like I did do a pretty decent job on getting everything to look fairly symmetrical. So Jolteon's all done. I am doing Flareon next, and after dealing with that Jolteon, I was like, girl, I have to use something that doesn't shed. And I really like to use the Hobby Pumpkin, I want to say it is. But I do not have that capacity to sew that much with that yarn. So I did end up deciding to use Elise again, Softy Plus. The eyes I set a little bit wider, I think, than my other guys, but I'm not too worried about that because I'll just come in and do the face shaping and it will bring the head in anyway, so it doesn't bother me that much. But tonight I want to continue to work on Flareon. I would love to have my pattern test done early. It's the 14th. They're due on the 18th. So I'd really love to have them done by this weekend. And there's only one more pattern test that I have applied for as of right now, and that is the Glaceon for Joyfully, because I feel like it'd be really cool to have all of them done. And I know I'm part of her Patreon, so I'd probably get the pattern anyway, but I just feel like it would be cool if I had them all done. So I did apply for Glaceon, but her pattern test I think is like not till like next week or something. But I feel like after that, I am calling it quits on pattern tests for the time being, since I'm getting really close to markets. And not that this is not market prep, because it is going to be going to the market, but these guys are pretty extensive. And I have a lot of things on my list that I want to do, and a lot of patterns I want to try. And I've been dreaming of a new pattern. I don't know if it's a pattern I'll release to people or if I just keep it as a personal thing, leaning a little bit more into like collegiate stuff. So there's so many things I want to do, but right now I just have a lot of things. Getting the custom done of the horse is priority, getting my pattern test all done, and then getting the safety eyes painted for Sarah. I did make some progress on it last night, and then just confirmed some things with some colors, because I didn't know if she wanted all crazy randoms or if she wanted doubles, like with the colors, like 1 on 25, 1 on 30. Got that figured out so I can do everything according to what I need to do for her. And yeah, but I wanted to come in here and actually unbox something with you guys that is like completely out of left field. So if you guys did not know, I actually used to paint and customize model horses. I was super big into it as a kid. Actually, one of my first businesses was model horses. I used to make little halters for them out of ribbon, and I would sell them on eBay. And I made a pretty good amount of money doing that. I don't know why anybody would buy them, but they did, and I made a good deal of money. And then as I got a little bit later on in life, I think by the time I was like 14, I got really big into painting model horses. So at my previous house, we had a huge downstairs area. I had a whole airbrush set up. I would do pastel works as well. And then I got really busy as I got a little bit later on. And then once we moved out of my previous house, which was like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I can't remember. We no longer had the nice big basement studio space. I literally sit there and think that if I was still in my old house, I wouldn't even need a warehouse for the yarn. I could just have it all at my house. But then at the same time, I don't think I would have ever gotten into crochet, because I had to go through a lot of very dark times to get to this point. A lot of questions if Carri should be in a facility. So I just am like, well, would it have even made a difference? I don't know. With that all being said, I actually am kind of getting back into painting and collecting model horses again. It's something like, I went to Briarfest. You guys probably don't know what Briarfest is, but it's a huge event and everything years ago. I think I went in like 2016. I actually have signed up to do a painting class with oils. I've never painted with oils before, but I feel like being in such a limited space, painting with oils could be a good option, because I don't have the same setup of like having the airbrush, the filters. I just don't have that here. And I decided I wanted to do it to have fun, because so much of my work is not for me. I've been crocheting for 2 years, I think, at this point, and I have never kept a piece for myself. Even the pieces that I have made of like Sloan, I've always sold. I just never really keep anything for myself, because I don't know if it's just me. Like, I feel, I don't want to say guilty, but I don't see the point. Like, I'd rather sell something for my business and just keep it for myself. And especially now that crochet is essentially a business for me, it's not a hobby. I think my mindset has drastically changed about keeping things. So a artist that I really love is doing a oil painting class, and I was actually supposed to be in it tonight. There is a session going on, but I didn't get inside from the barn until 8:40, and it had already been going on for 50 minutes. And I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to join in like an hour into the session when the session's being recorded, and you don't have to actually virtually attend any of them if you can't make them. So I'm gonna rewatch the like rerun of it over the weekend and whatnot. But I decided I'm gonna get into a little bit of painting. That's another reason why I probably won't be doing as many pattern tests. It won't take up too much time, but I feel like it will be nice to do something for myself, if that makes sense, just to like do a completely different medium as well. Because there's a lot of times where I'm in a lot of pain from crocheting, and I don't necessarily want to sit down and do nothing. So this could just be something where maybe if I'm in a lot of pain from crocheting, I can just do something fun, you know? But with that all being said, I am actually getting back into collecting, which is a problem. Because collecting model horses is very expensive, if you don't know. And particularly the style of model horse that I enjoy to collect. I like the custom ones a lot, so hand-painted ones, unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, and with that, they are really expensive. And actually, I just had one arrive today, so I'll unbox it, and then you guys can see what this cutie looks like. And I can kind of explain to you guys what makes them so unique. I definitely need to not be buying model horses. This will probably be my last one for a little bit. I bought in a couple, but this is a mold that I just really love, and I actually have like 4 others of him. A lot of them are unpainted, so I do need to actually get them painted at some point. But this guy is fully painted. And one thing that people might not know is that there are actually things called model horse competitions. And don't be like, what does that mean? Like, you just run around the ring with your little model horse? No. Model horse competitions is actually where people just bring in their collections and everything, and you have people who judge the class. And for the pieces that I collect, they judge it on like the paint work, the does the paint and the colors of the coat match the breed. So the stuff that it's kind of like almost like an art competition, and this guy has won, as you can tell, a lot of cards. And these cards basically are just, so if you ever want to show them in their big national final, you can. So he has won about 6 cards, which is really neat. I have a few pieces that also have cards as well, but I haven't personally been able to show because there's nothing near me, and this guy shows as a Spanish gaited horse. I'm so excited. The moment I saw him, I had to get him. The one thing I really liked about this piece was his base. So I actually bought this piece from the artist herself, which makes it even more special. So you guys have to look at this base and just tell me it is not stunning. So this is a hand-painted base, as you can tell on the back. You can see the brush strokes. This was painted in 2022, and here is the actual base. So it's painted to be marble. Oh, actually so stunning. And then we will unbox the pretty pony. I feel like this is something that I've never really I don't talk about this part of my life that much. And it's something I've been pretty dormant with. I haven't been collecting as much. When we moved, I sold off a good deal of my collection. I used to have so many horses, but I sold them off because I no longer have the space. I do have a curio cabinet that has a couple of them, and I don't know, I've always been kind of like a little bit embarrassed to talk about this stuff, but at the same time, it's like a me thing, if that makes sense. It's probably one of the few things in my life that's just for me. So here is the pretty pony. You gotta wrap it in linen like this so it doesn't, the bubble, like poly, whatever, bubble wrap doesn't stick to them in the heat. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, he's stunning. I have another one that looks kind of like him and I'm so excited. Got extra little toilet paper to protect their tails and shipping. And then let's unwrap his little head. He's gonna look so good next to my other one. Ah! Okay, here he is. Let's see, will this focus? This is just absolutely beautiful. Here's his other side. So if I'm not mistaken, this little cutie is painted in, I think, airbrush and pastels, and then of course all of them are painted in acrylic for their finer details, but he is just stunning and beautiful, and I'm so excited to have another one. I have a very big version, like a bigger version of him that's painted to a different color, kind of almost same vibes, but like it's definitely a different color. And then I actually have two of these on this mold. This is resin. This is an artist resin piece. So this is a solid casting, but I have two others in the same mold that do not have any clothes, so no paint, that I really want to get painted at some point, but I'm so happy to have this guy. When I saw, oh, look at him with the marble. Okay, come on, there you go. Oh, he's so stunning. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. When I saw him, I literally contacted the person, was like, I have to have him, because like tons of other people were all over him, and I was like, no, he's got to come live with me. So I'm super excited, but now that I've got him unboxed, I'm going to take some photos for his owner, or his previous owner, to just let her know that he got shipped all right, because it's scary shipping model horses, especially resin. It is fragile. And I'm going to get the photo taken, and then I'm going to continue to work on Flareon, and I'll check in with you guys at another time, but I hope you guys are okay with me sharing other aspects of my life that I really enjoy, and collecting model horses has become something that I've enjoyed again, and I really just love having one-of-a-kind hand-painted pieces. That is probably my favorite part of the hobby. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's technically been a couple days since I recorded last, and to be honest, I actually recorded an outro, but long story short, I was trying to show you guys a plushie, and then as I was showing you guys a plushie, I noticed there was like a stain. The crash out was actually unreal. So I'm here to re-record the ending. Luckily, the plushie that got stained, it was like really recent. Like I think it happened, I think I had accidentally touched something on my computer because I had been like painting, and then I think it was on my finger, and then I touched the plushie, and then yeah, so it was like super recent, so I was able to use water and soap, and the stain came right out, or the paint came right out, but I really did crash out. So I'm on here to try to record this again. This time I feel a little calmer, a little bit better. Let me go grab two plushies. So here are the completed two loveys that I had mentioned, you guys. This is a custom order, and honestly, I think it was this one that was my crash out. You can't tell because I got it pretty much all out and everything. Wow, my camera's not even focusing today. Slay with it. But I sat there and I washed it and I cleaned it and I got it all out, luckily. now I'm just waiting to get the final portion of the payment for these, and then I will get them shipped out. I mentioned this before, not really a color palette that I would personally lean into. I'm not a huge variegated yarn person, so this is definitely not the most comfortable piece for me to make, but I think I made do with it. And then of course we got embroidered eyes, but man, I can never embroider eyes the same on two different plushies. So the fact that I'm making two of the same, I'm like, okay, the eyes aren't gonna be exactly like the same spacing. I definitely have figured out the eye style that I like for embroidered eyes, so that's still the same with the white and then the white and then the black line, but the placement's just a smidgy different. So I'm gonna put these back in the box because I have PTSD, and hopefully they'll be going off to their home this week. So I think besides that, the last thing I was telling you guys was my pattern test, and I did get all of my pattern tests done on time. Pat in the back. This will probably be like kind of slowing down on pattern tests, which sucks because I have been seeing so many patterns that I want to pattern test, but I just really don't have the time. I'm kind of pushing the time to begin with. I did make some really good progress on Sarah's eyes. I think I honestly have like 5 more pairs to paint, so I actually might try and do that tonight because I'm so close and I want to get the eyes out to her, of course. But I did get the pattern test done on time, so let me show you guys. I know I showed you guys Jolteon, so I'm just gonna show you guys Flareon. So this is how Flareon turned out. Like I mentioned, I used the Lee Softy Plus for the body opposed to Honey Bunny, even though I love the Honey Bunny orange because it's like even more vibrant than this. I just truly cannot bring myself to work with another Chanel yarn for this. If I get into Glaceon, which is the last pattern test that I applied for, then I will try and use a Lee Softy Plus even if it kills me, like even if I have to change colors, just because I can't do this in Chanel. This one didn't have as much sewing compared to the other one. I mean, it still probably had like, okay, remember I tacked down the legs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, body to head, 8, 9, fluff, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So about 17 pieces because these are not bobble stitched in. They are crocheted separately and sewn, so they're not bobble stitched in, which seems to be pretty much how most things are in the patterns. There's not much working in the round per se. I know Jolteon, his little bobble stitch did have that one built into the round, but like when I made Leafeon and everything, all of the little leaves were supposed to be crocheted and then sewn, and I was like, I'm not sewing it. So I ended up being able to get away with just surface crocheting because it was just, you know, like chains and then working back down the chains back into the body, which was no problem. But some of these guys, it gets a little bit more complicated. So like I said, I think I'm doing Glaceon. I don't know, I haven't heard. If I do get chosen to do Glaceon, I'm gonna try and do a Lee Softy Plus, and I might also do these eyes because these are just, they're just a beautiful color to have in your collection. I love these blue eyes, and it's definitely Glaceon feels. I think besides that, the only thing I'm gonna show you guys to close out this video, I did get contacted by Avery with Avery Crafts a Lot. I have a lot of her patterns, and she has like those little adorable platypus that I make, and then I haven't made the elephant, the bat, those things I do have. I just like have not had time, but I love making the platypus and stuff because it's like perfect for my $10 bin. and she actually contacted me. We talk a good deal and everything. She's not super active on Instagram, but you guys can find her Etsy. She has lots of patterns and stuff. She's been using Naughty Pony and sending me so many photos, and her stuff is just adorable. And yeah, oh my gosh. So she actually made one of these turtles in Naughty Pony, and she had asked me if I would be willing to pattern test this turtle for her, even though I said I was like done with pattern testing, but I was like, I of course can do it. Usually if people like reach out to me and ask me if I can pattern test something, I totally down to. It's just like sometimes I'm like, I might need a little extra time. I'm probably cutting this close because this is Tuesday and I know she wanted to release the pattern like Wednesday-ish. So I'm hoping she'll give me till Thursday-ish because I think I can get it done by then. But this is the head that I have. This is Honey Bunny. Now I do love this kind of like turquoise teal color. Like I totally would want to have yarn in this color. And I went with green, and then I do have this Premier Parfait in Toffee, I believe, and this skein feels okay. Toffee and Premier Parfait Chunky is another color that I have had a ton of quality issues with, but this one doesn't feel as bad as some of the other ones, so I try to pick a softer skein to work with because my arms are really hurting me. But that's gonna be on my agenda. I've got his head done. I've got his little toes. I'm working on the toes. This is actually completely no-sew, so I'm super excited because I don't really have a turtle pattern. You guys know I don't do turtles anymore. I do like the little hatchling Toby turtles, but besides like actual larger turtles, I don't really do them. I'm kind of past the turtle point in my crocheting, and so I'm excited to see how this turns out because I'd love to have like a larger turtle that has like a specialty thing, and I feel like this could definitely be it. And then I'm using 30mm eyes. She uses 25 in her pattern, but I had painted these for another project, and these were my only solid pupil, not white pupil eyes that I had for myself. So I was like 30mm, what we're gonna do. But probably next video I will update you guys on that pattern, and then hopefully it will be out. If you guys would like to purchase that pattern, I'll include it if it is. But that's basically what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the longer video. And then as well, I do have my first podcast episode out for you guys. You can find it on the channel. And I want to say a huge thank you to everybody for their very kind words who commented on it, because I did touch a little bit about some of my things that I have going on up in here. And everyone was so nice. But that's what I have for you guys. I'll have a new podcast episode coming out this week. I'm just waiting for everyone to vote on which topic they want me to talk about. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!